So welcome everyone, this is Rebecca Jane from yogawithrebeccajane.com, and welcome to this yoga class where we will be focusing in on our glute muscles, or our bottoms, tummies, and some arms. So those are the three main things, but the bottom and the tummies, those will be primary. So we'll get started with sitting up nice and tall. Take a moment here to settle in, find that comfortable seat. If you tend to cross one way, just switch. Try the cross that's least familiar to you. And just take a moment here to settle in. Just take this moment to decompress, especially if you've been running around. And you need just a moment to kind of go, whoo, here I am. So you're on your mat. Let's just start to take a few little deep breaths in. All you need to do is just follow the breath, watching it, observing it. And then begin to deepen a little bit more, coming into that Ujjayi breath, where you create that little sound at the back of your throat. It's a little bit like an ah sound, or maybe a sigh. And then let's gently open up our eyes. And we're going to start with taking your arms out to the sides like wings. And then bring your right arm, cross it over your left, and hug yourself. Give yourself a hug. So grab hold, see if you can walk those fingers a little further back towards your shoulder blades. And then let's take a deep breath in and lift your elbows towards the ceiling. And then as you exhale, elbows over towards the right corner of the ceiling, and then down towards your right knee, and circle all the way around. So you're drawing a circle with your elbows. Come back all the way around till your elbows are back up towards the ceiling. So let's do 2 more sets in this direction. Closing the eyes. This is heaven. Especially if you've been doing a lot of sitting, or even just came out of an exercise class, you've been walking a lot. Let's come back to center, and then reopen your arms, stretch them out to the sides like wings. And then bring the left arm, cross it over the right, and give yourself a hug. And once you've found those shoulders, blades, or at least close to it, take an inhale, lift your elbows up towards the ceiling, this time over towards the left. So the elbows towards the left corner of the ceiling, then to your left knee, and let's circle around. So let's do 2 more sets of these circles, round and round, inhaling and exhaling. Just feeling into the middle back, the lower back, the upper back. Let's come back 1 more circle, and then let's lift up nice and tall. Now I'm making lots of moaning noises, but it feels so nice. Reach your arms out to the sides like wings, and spin the palms back, press back, opening up the shoulders. So this is the stretching out the front of your shoulders. Place the fingertips on the ground. Take a deep breath in, lift up nice and tall, and re-squeeze the shoulders. Heart lifts, either looking up towards the ceiling or looking forward. Let's just take a pause. Then take an inhale, and then exhale, release the arms, and just shake them out. So we're going to move on to our tummies. Swing around. If you need anything for your tailbone, if some of us have a very tender tailbone, use a blanket. I'm going to just put my blanket to the side for right now. And let's sit with our feet pointing towards the long end, or towards the front of the mat. Knees are bent. So what we're going to do here is you're going to take a deep breath in, and you're going to hug your right knee into your chest. Just give yourself a hug. Take an inhale and exhale, either hands behind the knee or on the shin, and I want you to lower yourself onto your back. We're going to come back up again, so if this is way too much for you, you can always just go halfway. And then as you lower your head to the ground, straighten your right leg. Draw that right foot in, hamstring stretch. Then rebend your right knee, I'm sorry. Take an inhale and then let's lift back up. And you can support yourself with fingers on the ground. Re-hug that knee into your chest. We'll do one more time. Take a deep breath in and then exhale, lower yourself down. Lots of tummy work happening here. And then as you lower onto your back, straighten your right leg. And then bring that right leg in towards you. Taking an inhale, rebend that knee, and then exhale, lift back up nice and tall. And once you've lifted, keep your right leg in towards you. We're all doing everything on the right side. Hug that right knee into your chest, then straighten that right leg as you're in a seated position. Left hand to the outer edge of that right foot or lower down the leg. Take your right arm, reach it towards the ceiling. Take a deep breath in and circle it around until you're twisted, your body, as if you're trying. Your right arm is going to extend backwards. And you can even place the fingers on the ground or keep the hand up. And take a deep breath in and stretch your right arm away from your right leg. And then take an inhale, sweep that right arm back up to the ceiling, circle it around and cross it over your left wrist, and then re-bend your right knee. So you might be further down the leg. And then re-straighten, and this always feels nice. You could extend your left leg, and then lower your right leg down. Let's take a deep breath in, let's lift up nice and tall, let's fold forward. And then let's inhale, lift back up a little bit more of a yang. So this is yin-yang type of class. This is a little bit more yang today. So a little bit more fiery, vibrant, dynamic. Hug your left knee into your chest. Place your right foot flat on the ground, knee pointing up. Breathing in, and as you breathe out, lower down onto your back. Bring the leg with you, that left knee with you. Once you're on your back, straighten your left leg. Draw that foot towards you. Then inhale, rebend your left knee and lift yourself back up. Come up nice and tall. And then exhale, bring the leg with you. Come all the way down. Take your time. And then inhale, straighten your left leg. Stretch it as you exhale. And then inhale, rebend your left leg. Come back up. This time we stay up. And then hug your left knee into your chest. And then inhale, straighten. Or exhale, straighten. And then take your right hand to the outside of that left foot or lower down the leg. Lift your left arm up to the sky. Breathe in, stretch through that left arm and twist to the left. So this is something I really like to do. This feels good on the spine. And fingers on the ground or reach it backwards. Hover it off the ground. Think about the left arm and that left leg are moving in opposite directions. Take an inhale, reach your left arm back up, cross that right arm over your left arm over your right, bend your left knee, straighten that left leg again. And then if you wish, you can extend your right leg, take an inhale, and exhale, lower your left leg down. Take a deep breath in, lift up nice and tall, fold forward. Seated forward bend. Take a deep breath in and take a deep breath out. Let's take an inhale, slowly lift yourself up, always trying to use as much of these tummies, the core muscles, and then swing around onto your hands and knees. Come onto those hands and knees and do a few little sways from side to side with those hips. And your head can either go from side to side, or you can keep it still, or you could follow the shape of your hips, looking towards the hip that's out. Let's do this a few more times just to get our spines nice and lubricated. And then come back to stillness. Let's press back into a child's pose just for a moment, but keep the arms nice and long. Take an inhale. And then as you exhale, lift back up into your tabletop. Next thing we're going to be working on are our glute muscles and some hamstrings. Bring your right knee a little bit closer into your left leg. Extend your left leg back. Flex your left foot. Take a deep breath in and lower left toe down, just tap the floor and then inhale, lift back up. The leg can be slightly higher than your hips and lower that left foot down. We're going to do this a few more times. Lift and lower. Inhale, lift, exhale, lower. Keep the gaze downward. Inhale, lift, exhale, lower. Make sure the hip bone is pointing downward. Inhale, lift, exhale, lower. Slowly, with control, no swinging. And then inhale, lift and hold. Take a deep breath in. And now as you exhale, let's do some circles. Either direction you can start. Just make some tiny weeny circles with your left foot. So as you can probably feel, we're doing a lot of work on our hips and legs. And let's just take a pause, take a breath in, and then as you breathe out, circle in the other direction. So these circles can be, you can always place the foot down if you need to. One more set of something else, so just be patient. Take an inhale and exhale, bring your left leg out to the left just a little bit, and then bring it back in, and then out. So you're not coming all the way to the side, about a few inches out to the left, and then bring the foot back in. So inhale, slide the foot out, and then bring it in. And then one more time out, and then in, and hold. And add on one more thing before we finish this side. Reach your right arm forward. Take a deep breath in, and take a deep breath out. Lower that right hand down, lower that left knee down. Press back into a child's pose. Take a pause here, but breathe into, especially the back, lower back. Let's take an inhale, we'll come back up, another leg. Fortunately, we have two legs. And then wrists under shoulders, knees are under hips. Bring the legs a little bit closer together, and then now extend your right leg back. So now you kind of get a sense what to do. And roll that front thigh slightly, rotate it inward towards the midline of the body. Take an inhale and exhale, tap that toe down, barely touching. Then inhale, lift back up. Exhale, lower. Inhale up. Exhale, lower. Inhale up. Exhale, lower. This time, inhale up and pause here. Then take a deep breath in, and as you breathe out, circle the foot around. Just think of just any direction you choose, wherever you go first. And tiny, tiny, tiny little circles. You're using your oblique muscles, so lots of tummy work is happening here without you even realizing. Let's take a pause, take a breath in, and then as you breathe out, let's go in the opposite direction. Circles in the opposite direction. And then take a deep breath in and pause, and then breathe in, and as you breathe out, swing that right leg to the right, and then bring it back in with control. So as if you're just sliding it across something, a step, a table, a very low table. So inhale and exhale. So the exhalation, foot out to the right, inhale, bring it back. One more time, out, exhale, inhale, back in. And then exhale, left arm forward, right leg away. Let's pause here, and then lower that left hand down, lower that right knee down, and sit back into a child's pose, just flushing out everything we just did. So a little bit of a yogic conditioning class today. So inhaling into your tabletop, curling the toes under, downward facing dog. Let's just stay here for a few breaths. And you might feel the urge to pedal the feet, bend in and straighten the legs, just to loosen up those hip joints. So yes, yoga does have different types of, we do standing poses. We have all these different yogic asanas, but also we add a little extra sometimes to deepen the practice, to take it a little bit into a strengthening class. Let's come back to stillness and just walk to the center of your mat. Most of the work now will be happening from the center. Come into a forward bend, cradle the opposite hand to the opposite elbow. Do a little bit of a sway from side to side if that feels nice. And then let's release the hands to the ground. Let's take a deep breath in, bend the knees, and let's slowly lift ourselves all the way up to standing. Reaching your arms up to the sky. Bring the hands to your heart. So from here, I'll step back. We're going to bring the feet in so that they're hip distance apart, and we're going to sit in a chair, but we're only going to stay here for a moment, and then we're going to lift up. So one full breath for bend and straighten, a little bit like a squat, and several of them. So taking an inhale, nice and tall, and then exhale, bend, and then inhale, lift. So you're doing a chair. You're going from Tadasana to a chair, and then lift back up. Inhale, lift, exhale, lower. Make sure you're leaning on your heels, you're not leaning forward. And if this is too much for your knees, then don't make this as deep. Let's do a little bit more. What this does is this is working all the muscles in your bottom, in your hips, but also belly, back. A few more sets, keep going. Yogic conditioning today, a little young. One more time, let's bend and let's hold. This time, hold and breathe. Inhaling and exhaling. You can even extend the arms if you want a little bit more in front of you or in line with your ears. And then lower the hands to the ground, forward fold. Woo, take a deep breath in. And take a deep breath out. Then from here, everything's working, we're moving from the center of the mat. You're going to step your right foot forward, left foot back. Into your runner's lunge. Fingertips framing your right foot, bending your right knee. Take an inhale. And then as you exhale, lower your left knee down, lift all the way up nice and tall. Take your right hand on top of that right thigh, left hand on top of that right hand. Take an inhale and exhale. Press your right knee forward. As you do so, the skin of that thigh is pushing with the leg. And then soften the shoulders down. I have to remind myself too. So take an inhale and exhale. So feel these hip flexors working, and then inhale, lift up nice and tall. Frame the right foot with your hands. Curl the back toes under, step your left foot a little closer, and fold over both legs, pyramid. And take a nice stretch here, breathing in. And breathing out. And then from here, take an inhale and exhale, step your feet back together, middle of the mat. Feet are hip distance apart. Take it in forward fold. Take an inhale and then exhale. Lift yourself up into Tadasana. Lift your arms up, hands back to your heart. Make sure the feet are hip distance apart. Another set of those chair, I'll call them chair squats. Take an inhale and then exhale, bend. And then inhale, lift. Using these muscles as you lift up. Exhale, bend. Inhale, lift, squeezing the muscles. And bend. So the tummy, the bottom. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, bend. Inhale, lift. This time exhale, bend and hold. Hold. Feel free to reach your arms somewhere, either forward or up. Take a deep breath in, and as you breathe out, lower the hands to the ground. 2 breaths here in forward, standing forward fold. So you might notice your heart is starting to speed up a little bit. Let's take an inhale, and that's exhale. This time I want you to step your left foot forward, right foot back. High runner's lunge. So this is a different perspective, working from the center of the mat rather than the front or the back. And from the high runner's lunge, place your right knee down. You can always put something underneath your knee, a blanket, or double up the mat. Reach your arms up to the sky. And exhale, lower your left hand down on that left thigh, right hand on top of the left hand. Take an inhale, and then exhale, push your knee forward. Soften the shoulders down, and you're gripping those hands onto your skin of your left thigh, and you're pushing forward, giving yourself a little bit of oomph, a little extra. Opening up the chest, opening up those hip flexors of that right side. Inhale, lift back up, hands framing your left foot. Nothing too intense. The stretches are not so intense. Bring your right foot in slightly in and fold over that left leg. So a few little deep breaths in and a deep breath out. That's from here. Lower the hands to the ground. This time, step back, downward facing dog, using the entire length of the mat. Let's hold for just a moment and then inhale into your plank. And just hold and pause. So you can always settle the knees down if that helps. That feels much better for you. Or come into forearms. Let's lower the knees down or come on down with them still up. Squeeze the elbows in towards each other. Come right down onto your belly. And slide back so you have room for your hands. I have stuff in front of me, so I have to kind of scoot myself back. Our arms are in front of us. Legs are slightly apart. We're going to start, forehead resting on the ground. Take a deep breath in and lift your left arm up and your right leg up. So the opposing arm, opposing leg, and then lower down. Then take an inhale and exhale, right arm and left leg up. Make sure they're reaching away from one another and then lower down. Then inhale, right leg, left arm, lower down. Right arm, left leg, lower down. You have an option of doing the alternate or both legs and both arms, and pausing and breathing, looking down to the ground, breathing in. So now we're working the back body, the behind, the core, especially the lower back, the glutes. Breathing a little bit more, holding a little bit longer. Keep going, and then lower yourself down. Slide your hands next to your chest, lift back up onto all fours. Bring the legs together, just take a pause in your child's pose. Notice how the breath, and just from doing very simple, they're not, for some, it can be quite intense, those locusts, those back bends. But they do get the heart rate up. Come up onto your hands and knees and spin around onto your bottom, legs towards the front of the mat. So we're going to do a few little tummy rolls down. So feet are flat on the ground, knees are bent. And if you would like, add a block if you happen to have one. This is not necessary. That's why I didn't mention it at the beginning, but squeeze, just place the block between the legs, the narrow end. And reach your arms forward. Take a deep breath in, and as you breathe out, you're going to roll down just about halfway. Now halfway meaning about where the label of your pants are. And then hold, but breathe, take a deep breath in. And then exhale, roll over that imaginary beach ball we have lying on our lap. And then inhale, lift up nice and tall. And then exhale, lower back down. Just come about halfway. Hollow out the tummy muscles. Take a deep breath in, just pause. And then exhale, roll over that imaginary beach ball. And then inhale, nice and tall. This time I want you to exhale, lower down slowly. Take your time, drawing the tummy muscles in. Take your time. You don't have to go fast. You might have support your legs or your hands on the ground and come all the way down to go. Keep that block if you happen to have a block. Just keep it between your legs. Hug your knees into your chest. Little rocks from side to side. Place your feet flat on the ground. Walk the heels until you tap your middle tip of the fingers to your heels. So the tip of that middle fingers, and you know your feet are in the right position for this next thing, this next sequence. We're just going to lift up into a bridge, not too high, and then we're going to tap down like we did earlier with the leg. We'll do a few of these.
hands don't have to be anywhere but just next to your sides. Take a deep breath in, let the shoulders relax and lift up. And then exhale, just tap down. Inhale, lift. So you're barely grazing the ground with your tailbone. Exhale down, inhale, lift. Exhale down. So if you don't have a block, imagine you have a block. You're squeezing into an imaginary block. Lower down, just tap. Inhale, lift, and exhale, lower. Inhale, lift, and exhale, lower. We'll do a few of these. Inhale, lift, and exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. A little bit of yang today. Exhale, lower. One more time, we're going to lift, but this time we're going to hold. We're going to hold and breathe. Squeezing those bottom cheeks into our yin bridge. And then take a deep breath in, and as you breathe out, gently, slowly lower yourself onto the ground. Release the block. And then hug your knees into your chest. So you will be feeling lots of muscles you probably haven't felt in a while. Open the arms out to the sides like wings and drop your knees to the right. Spinal twist. If you have another kind of spinal twist you prefer, you choose to do that. Turn your gaze to the left. Make sure that left shoulder is comfortably resting on the ground. If not, then slide the knees further down the mat. And let the eyes close here. And then knees come back up. And draw the forehead to your knees. Wrap your arms around your shins. Maybe the feet. Grab hold of the feet. And then lower yourself back down and let the knees drop to the left. Turn your gaze to the right. So we worked on the area of where we targeted, the area of our bodies we targeted was the bottom. You'll feel that, the abductor muscles, the outer edges of our hips. I think we've worked a lot. The tummy muscles, back, lower back. Those were the main areas. Bring your knees into your chest. And let's extend your left leg to the left corner of the mat, right to the right. Let yourself rest. Let yourself settle down into your Savasana, the yin pose, where you rest for about 2 to 5 minutes. I will take you through just a few moments, and then I will come up to seal the practice, and you can continue on. Enjoying this is the most important posture out of everything. Let yourself melt into the mat, bone by bone, skin by skin. Muscle by muscle. You might sigh a few times. Just let everything melt. And you can continue on, which is highly recommended. Just lie there as I come up. So our practice, we did work on a lot of different, especially the lower body, some arm work. As I bring my hands in front of my heart to seal this practice. Thank you so much for being with me. This is Rebecca Jane from yogawithrebeccajane.com. I'll see you soon. Namaste.